Hey guys, back. Episode 54, Out the Top, July the 9th, 2024. Bryant Dunnigan back in the Rock Life Studios. Dan Carter from Alexander City, Alabama. What's up, my friend?
What's happening?
Man, what a weekend we had. Before we get into that, though, let's get some business out of the way. This episode is brought to you by Rock Life Off-Road. Use code OUTTHETOP to get a little savings there at Rock Life Off-Road or rockliferacing.com. And also, we're introducing something new this week. We are officially offering memberships to the YouTube channel. Now, this is not a beg. We're not saying please give us money. But we do have two different levels of memberships available. If you guys want to check that out. The first level is just what we're calling the Trail Series membership. It is for $4.99 a month. You get early access to videos, member shout-outs. You'll get member-only shorts. And a lot of that, we're gearing that towards this show. Right. And us, not necessarily the race footage. I still want to get that out there to everybody. Our second level of membership is going to be called the Hill Killer. You'll get everything in the first level. You will also get discounted merch for Rock Life Off-Road and Out the Top Media, even more so than the Out the Top code will get you. And you'll have member-only videos. Once again, that'll come more so geared from this show and from us personally versus the race videos. So if that's anything that interests you guys, please do that. Regardless, just please make sure you have subscribed to our channel. If you're listening to the audio podcast, make sure you're reviewing, downloading that deal every week. Got your notifications set up. As soon as we upload, you'll get that little ding on your phone. You'll know what's there. So yeah, that helps more than anything, just being subscribed to our channel. Speaking of which, hello, all you new people. Our channel has doubled since we've last talked to you. That's cool. We've went from 3,000 subscribers to over 7,000 in the course of the last week. So, hello, new people. Please.
Hi.
We're not completely crazy. Stick around. It's a good show. So anyways, there's our official business out of the way. Now, what about this weekend? We had that Rock Life race at the Wayne County Fair that we've been talking so much about for the last 6 or 7 weeks. It turned out pretty good. What do you think about the event as a whole?
Man, first of all, for some reason I'm nervous as shit now because talking to just like the 10 or 15 people that I thought listened to me just babble on about a bunch of bullshit and nonsense. Now there's like 6,000 people.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm going to be saying a whole lot from here on out.
Oh no, we got to let it flow, buddy. Got to get it
But
out.
man, no, first of all, I want to thank you for, inviting us to take over your hometown. Hopefully we didn't embarrass you too much, but I appreciate all the hospitality. And, Wayne County is a special place. Lot of different sights to see. Back home, we don't have the luxury of having a county fair. We just have it's just a random little circus fair deal throw up in the Roses parking lot. Nobody knows when it's coming or when it's going away, and it may be here for a day. It may be here for 2 days, but there's not an involvement from the community like you guys have. But it was awesome to experience that for my first time. Everything went pretty well, other than me getting behind the wheel of the new car and playing in the mud with it. But, it was all about us just coming out and having a good time and celebrating the holidays with you guys. And we had a blast.
Yeah, it was fun. The race itself, the community kind of rallied around it. We had a little kickback from some people in the community because I was bringing in the hot shoes and the locals wasn't going to get to race and yada, yada, yada. It doesn't. Listen, that's the biggest crowd we've had there for that event. biggest car count we've had there for that event in quite a while.
Right.
We had, I don't know, 15, 16 in the full body class, that many in the unlimited class. Made for a great show. And yeah, you're right. We do have a we have a pretty good little county fair there once a year, 4th of July week at the park, and it shuts the whole town down. You'll see all kind. Listen, we're smart, buddy. We have that at the first of the month, so we get all people, and it can get very interesting. It's good people watching. But yeah, it was a good event, man. I really can't understate how appreciative I am of everybody that did show up.
Right.
I mean, how long did it take you to get up here?
It was about a 7-hour drive for us pulling a trailer.
I'm going to say you were probably the farthest, but we had, Riley Pete came from the Atlanta area. A lot of guys, Martin Stewart, Austin Connell, Dylan Dowler, all came from the South Nashville area. Kenneth Cozine come down from Northern Kentucky. Charles Carris from High Octane Films come down. Dustin Brantley Havens. I mean, it was an NRRA weekend.
Right. Yeah. And that just goes to show you the power of promoting an event, which it's I had no idea all these guys were going to come and spend the weekend with us. And I don't know. I'm just kind of blown away that everybody showed up, and it means the world to me that everybody came to hang out and have a good time, and everybody got along. And there really wasn't that much carnage, other than I think Cozine blew a tire.
Yes. I thought it was going to turn his Jeep over.
Yeah.
Oh, that was interesting. Oh, and before we forget, I want to give a shout out to our buddy Clay Kaysen.
Yeah.
Showed up with no car.
Yeah.
Just come to show support and hang out with everybody. That was cool. Was not expecting him to show up whatsoever. Cool to have him there. But let's get down to the race a little bit. So we went early Friday morning, set our tents up and whatnot, and kind of got ready. And then they left us, and they're like, hey, whatever you guys want to do to the course, just tell the dozer guy. Mind you, this was really not my race. I was just helping the county, helping them promote their event. But they were like, whatever y'all want to do with the course, just tell the guy on the dozer and the excavator, and they'll do it. So we had all agreed, I thought, to have a slow section down by the grandstands, which we had. And then we were going to make the turn, and then it still wasn't going to be fast because there wasn't the room for fast. But we were going to try and do like a tabletop or a double jump or something, then a little check-up place, and then we had, the only way we could build a hill in a arena, a couple concrete barriers, and then the big barrel.
Right.
And so the center section was going to be a little bit more fast, a little friendlier, get a little bit of speed up. So we thought that's what they were building. We checked out, went to get us some lunch, going to be back up there about 4, to get ready for the race. Got there. They had piled the whole center row up with obstacles, concrete barriers, tires, dug holes. We were like, what in the world has happened here? And during the track walk, everybody was like, what are we going to do? Well, can we do this? Can you do this? Can we move this? Can we do that? Got little assistance from the director of the actual event, but I will say it wasn't nearly as bad as what we'd all expected.
Right.
It made for a good show for the most part. Nobody really had that much trouble with the course. I do wish it had been a little faster. I feel like that's better for entertainment value.
Yeah.
But you've also got to think, as much as I want it to be all about us, there was stock Jeeps that had to run. There was modified Jeeps. There was other classes. So I guess overall that was a good course for everybody. I wish we could have actually had a little more input on the course. And if anybody was upset with the course, I'll take responsibility for it. Whatever. I don't care. But it turned out good. So other than that and the late start, I mean, I wish, we were there at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the morning. That's no good. We need to get that thing started earlier next year if we do it. Get it started earlier, get the ball rolling. Like to get out of there at least by midnight. I mean, come on.
Right.
That 1 o'clock in the morning stuff, I'm not 22 anymore. I can't handle that. So let's talk about your two passes. Pass one. Which one? See, you had one where the steering wheel come off. Which one was that?
That was round 2. So my first run, I thought was pretty smooth until we got out of the slow section. I felt like I was comparable in speed to everybody else until I got right down at the end, and I went to try to hit the tire, and they had a, for those guys that weren't there, they had a tractor tire that was probably 2 foot tall by 4 foot in diameter, and there was no dirt or anything up on it, but we were just supposed to somehow get around that tire and a concrete barrier. Well, I hit the tire and it kind of threw me around and ended up pulling a tape down. So which that added, I think it was like 10 seconds onto my final time.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got through that section, I was trying my best to stay out of the big mud puddle that they had made for us. So I kind of went high around it, and the car just wasn't having it. It was trying to pull down in that mud because of the berm, and I was trying to avoid it. Next thing I know, I went over the berm. Car was all over the place, and my goal was to not back up. So I just stayed in it and I was all over the place. It's almost like I was driving blind for a few minutes.
I said, where in the hell's he going? Like the race course is over there.
Yeah. But, the first pass was not, near as smooth as I had liked. So the way that they ran this was, whatever number you drew, they went in sequential order. And then once everybody had ran, you started that order back over if you wanted another pass. And from my understanding, they were going to take the fastest of both times, and that was going to be your time. So with me hitting the tape and adding a little bit of time onto it and then being all over the course, I was for certain that I could make up some time. So I hit the first section even harder than what I did the first time. And I was like, man, this is going pretty smooth. And then next thing I know, I went to turn the car, the whole steering wheel just comes off in my hand. So that was my fault for making sure that the steering wheel wasn't locked on to the disconnect. But, it was kind of interesting there for just a few seconds trying to figure out what the heck was going on. But the second run was a good bit smoother, but it wasn't near, what I had in my mind as far as a good time.
I think you got the tape a couple times in that one too.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It was almost everybody really either got in the tape somewhere or was really slow. So there was only a couple guys that actually got some really good runs in out of the 15. Now listen, when I say they got into the tape, guys, we've got the videos up from the stock class and unlimited class on the channel. Go look at them. The tape lines are as wide as a vehicle. Mm-hmm. Like you really had very little margin for error either way. So, it is what it is. There was a couple tape penalties, I think, that we managed to get one overturned. I think the other one that I think should have been overturned, my video was just good enough where you knew you should overturn it, but you couldn't quite see enough to be positive.
Right.
1,000% positive. You could be 99% positive, but when you're overturning something like that, it has to be 100%.
Yeah.
And we were 99%, but we couldn't get that last one. So we couldn't get that one overturned. But for the most part, good show, man. Really, like I said, really appreciate everyone coming out. Let's see. We're not going to really do a rundown, but we'll talk about. So our one name we've not mentioned, I didn't know they were coming. Had no clue. They just rolled up, and I'm like, oh, what are they doing here? Brady McCreath.
Yeah.
If you don't know Brady's a young gentleman, probably, I don't know, 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how old he is. He's probably 14, 15. Brought his stock RS1 and brought his chassis, competed in both classes, waxed the field in the stock class.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just I don't know if he's ever won a race, but if he hasn't, he has now. So Brady won the stock class. Braden Upchurch, that kid had to have been beaten to death by the end of the night.
Oh man, I could only imagine. I woke up sore Saturday from my 2 runs. I could only imagine how Braden felt running. He ran both classes, right?
Yes.
So he ran 8 runs total.
Yeah. So in this event, you could run as many times as you wanted to, as long as it was in a different vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Braden's got the Turbo R and then the XP Turbo Razor. So he ran them both in both classes. And he said at the end of the night, he said, there's no way I could do endurance racing. He said, I'm dead. Like, dead. I'm like, hell, you only run for 2 minutes total. Like, I don't know why you're dead. The courses were 35 seconds. I mean, come on, kid. But Braden got second, done really good in the XP Turbo. And then Dylan Daller got third. In our unlimited class, Dylan Daller was the winner. One and done. He made one pass. And I kind of figured he'd run the second one because it was getting close and there were some guys getting faster. But he never went and took his second run. Riley Pete, second place. Really appreciate them coming up. And Ethan Mealer, I think that's who we decided. If the name's wrong, I apologize. It was a turboed Pro R.
Right.
Got third in the unlimited class. They said that thing had something like 400 horsepower.
That's crazy.
Completely LaRue built. It sounded mean.
Oh yeah, for sure. We took a look at that thing down in the pits, and it's definitely not stock.
Oh no. I thought so. He made a good pass on his first run. His second run, he led the first run for quite a while. In his second run, he was trying to make that time back up and then laid it on its side. And he was down there trying to spin it back up on the wheels, which on a UTV, if you're flat on the ground, is hard to do. And I was sitting over there just thinking to myself, shut it off. Like, right. I know how much money you have invested in the engine of that Razor. Shut it off.
Right.
You're racing for entry fees or whatever it was. I was like, you just chill out, dude. Like, calm down. But he put on a good show nonetheless. Really appreciate him for coming out as well. Another name we didn't mention was David Darnell showed up. Man, it's just so many people. Really, really appreciate them. And here's the thing. If we do this again next year, guys, because you all kind of run the locals off. I mean, they all got scared. All but 2 or 3 of them. So if we do this again next year, we need everybody back. We need more people to show up. Purse ended up being $2,145 to the winner. Second place got I think $550 or something like that. Third place was a little $300, something like that. So ended up being a pretty good deal for the unlimited class. Stock class, they run for entry fees. That was an add-on. So next year we may, instead of focusing on unlimited class, we may split our raffles and stuff. And if we do 2 classes, we may do that. Our tires and wheels went home with that we raffled off. Went home with Riley Pete and his dad. They oddly enough won the daggone cooler too.
Right. Yeah. He bought a good bit of tickets right there towards the end, and I kind of had a feeling that he was going to get one or the other.
Listen, I shook that thing up, dude. I made 3 or 4 of them watch me. I was like, I need witnesses. I don't want nobody saying I'm cheating. And I pulled one out and said, Pete Deck. Pulled the other one out, Pete Deck. What the crap?
Yeah.
And I had 3 or 4 people go, well, that's not suspicious. I was like, what do you want me to do? I wish I was that good. I wish I could determine winners, because if I could, I would win a lot of stuff. But good race, good weekend. Overall, I think it was a plus for our community.
Right.
So that's all that really matters. I'm glad they got to see a little bit about what it is that we do. Maybe that'll bring some people out to finals in London, Kentucky in October, since it's only an hour from here. So yeah, good deal. Hopefully we get to do that again next year.
I think if we're involved next year, what I would love to do is try to coordinate it where the fair always has some kind of like show and shine. I think it would be cool to do the show and shine that morning and then race that night, so that some of the guys could display their cars and kind of show out to the community that's not going to the actual fairgrounds themselves, which is just 200 yards through the woods. Have all the cars sitting out where the public can see them before the carnage.
I'm going to talk to the city and see how the days fall for next year, because we know what week the fair is going to be, and
Right.
the show and shine deal always happens the first Saturday of the month. So if all the stars align again, where we can move our race into Saturday night instead of Friday night, I'm going to try and make that happen, because it just makes too much sense for it to be that way.
We went downtown to the market Saturday after the race, which was Friday night. And the whole downtown area is pretty close to the fairgrounds. Historic downtown's pretty nice, but there was a good bit of antique cars, new cars, motorcycles, all kind of stuff in the show and shine. And I could only think that how great that would have been to be able to showcase all the race cars that were going to be running that evening at the show and shine. So I thought that'd be worth mentioning.
Yeah, I think every year we usually try and do a UTV show, and July is usually reserved for the auto show, but I don't see why we can't just do them together, get everybody there. I think it, like I said, it just makes too much sense. Speaking of downtown, okay, guys, I'm from a small town called Monticello, Kentucky. There is nothing here. We have a Walmart, a handful of stoplights. That's about it. One thing we do have, though, is the city pool hall. It has been here for 100 years. Best cheeseburgers in the state. I actually got Dan to go to the pool hall and get a cheeseburger. He don't eat a lot of cheeseburgers, guys.
Right.
So this is a big deal. On a scale, don't laugh. This is a big deal. On a scale from 1 to 10, give me your pool hall experience.
Man, I would say that it was a 12.
Yes.
Like it is that good. I mean, I don't know how you could recreate that. It's almost, I don't even know how to explain it. You walk into it's an old brick building. It's probably 20 foot wide, maybe 80 foot long. You walk in and there's a looked like they had converted like an old soda fountain into, uh, I guess, a makeshift burger joint. And it's just a small, probably like a 3 foot by 3 foot grill, and it or a flat top, and it's just loaded with hamburgers. And you just tell them what you want, and it's either hamburger, or cheeseburger,
You,
and
you either get it their way or you get it their way.
yeah. And I mean, I mean, every bit of it was phenomenal. And that was the first cheeseburger I had eaten in a long time, and it was 100% worth it.
So next time you guys come to town, get here early enough. Mind you, you're going to have to get here probably early enough to go to the park, drop your trailers,
Yeah,
and go back to town. Because it's right in the town square. There's not a whole lot of trailer parking in the town square. The next time you guys come a little early. Go check out the pool hall, city pool hall. Like I said, been there for, I don't know, 100 years. Super good, super hole in the wall divey kind of place. But man, if they had tap beer in there,
oh, for sure.
they wouldn't
Yeah,
get rid of people.
man, I'm telling you, and it was I think the burgers are like $3 a piece and drinks $1.
Yeah,
So I mean, you can get well fed for under $10.
it's probably the cheapest place in town, honestly.
Yeah, yeah,
It's cheaper than any of the fast food joints. You can't even go get a gas station cheeseburger anymore for less than $4.50. So,
right.
yeah, that's an awesome place. Let's see what else. So, for a Thursday night, you come up, stopped at the house. We actually went to the fair to the truck pools because we wanted to take my son to see the fireworks.
Right.
We ended up leaving a little after 10 o'clock. Fireworks didn't happen until, I don't know, well after I was in bed.
Yeah.
We got back home, and I was in bed, I think, by 11, and they still hadn't let them off. So we kind of missed that deal. But you got to go. Had you ever been to a truck pool?
That was first one.
We should have got there earlier so you could have seen more of it. There was a lot of people that after I told them that, like, there was a truck pool that night, they're like, there's a truck pool?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Like, it's just a truck pool. Well, we've never had a truck pool. I didn't realize that was not. I guess it's more regionalized than I thought it was.
Right. Yeah, like it's like I know what it is and I've seen it on television, but I've never like personally seen it up close.
Well, there was
And
like Riley and them said they'd never seen one, never been to one. And I grew up and that was just something you did. You just,
yeah.
there's a truck pool somewhere in the summer almost every night of the week. You can go to a fair somewhere and there's a truck pool, and then you go to the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, and that's where you go see the tractors with the 4 and 6 engines up on them, and you know the big dogs. But I'm telling you, we had a pretty good little fair. We even had what's the Netflix show with the wrestlers from Kentucky? Have you seen it?
No.
Well, anyways, we had them here last year.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they talk about that a little bit on the show, that they came to Wayne County as part of their tour or whatever it is.
Okay.
So, yeah, we do a little bit of everything. We've had truck pools, lawnmower pools, mule pools. The demolition derbies are big around here. So, guys, yeah, if you ever get a chance to come out, we do have one of the better, I think, fairs in the area. They do put a lot of time and effort into it. But anyways, that was Thursday night, Friday night. Saturday, man, we didn't do nothing but lay by the pool. I don't know what time it was when y'all got here, but we laid by me and Dan and Jody and my wife and my kid laid by the pool all day long. And then we were going to record a show Saturday night. We got Dan actually in the studio, but we done all our talking on the tailgate of the truck.
Yeah.
We sat on the tailgate of my truck and probably talked for, I don't know, hour and a half. We should have just recorded all that.
Yeah, I know. By the time it hit me that we were sitting on the truck for, I don't know, like you said, about 2 hours, I was like, this is the stuff we should have been recording.
Yeah. Should just lay the phone down and just whatever it gets, it gets. Because I don't know, maybe not. Because listen, we talked about some of y'all like dogs. No, I'm kidding.
Ain't nothing wouldn't say to your face.
No. Good times. Well, I'm glad you got to come up and take a little. Even though you did race Friday night, it was still, I would consider that a down weekend,
Yeah.
kind of chill weekend. Glad you got to come up and spend some time in my neck of the woods. Hopefully, let's see, we've got about a month. I think we've got a month before the next National Rock Racing Association event at Pretty Place Off-Road in Belvedere, Tennessee. We will be there. I will have some sort of tent booth, trailer set up somewhere at the event. So you guys make sure and stop by and see us there. Outlaw Racing is having their finals at Blue Holler Off-Road Park in Mammoth Cave, Kentucky, July 20th. We will not be there, but we will be back the week after that to try and talk a little bit about that event, talk a little bit about the Outlaw Champions. Hopefully content gets out quick for that. High Octane, Mad Ram, Busted Knuckle, those guys have been on it this year. They're all getting that stuff out quick. So maybe we'll have some good stuff to watch that we can recap for that before our episode that week. We will not be back next week. We are taking off unless something happens. Daniel, unless you got something short and sweet.
No, man. We just want to thank you again for having us. Appreciate everybody showing up, showing out. We had a blast and look forward to it next year.
It was a good show, good time, great weekend all together. Once again, appreciate everybody for coming. Guys, if you've not, make sure and hit that subscribe button. If you want to take advantage of the membership offers that are out there, do that. And as soon as we start getting some memberships, we will start producing content just for you guys that no one else will see. So we look forward to that. Guys, we'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks for our recap of the Outlaw Finals. Bye.
See ya. Oh, yeah.